Now, fellas, I call the meeting of the three of us because there is a family matter that needs discussion. When I went into politics some years ago, I did not mind that the two of you decided to go into the same business. However, there is one problem that has been created as a result. Now, I'm the older brother, and I had this voice first. And I do believe that you two should find your own voices just like I did. Now, just a minute, Jack. I don't see any similarity at all. I have to admit, Jack, that Bobby is absolutely right. I don't see any similarity either. Something must be done. Now, Bobby, it might just be a matter of a change of a few words. Now, for instance, let's take a word like vigor. I say vigor. How do you say vigor? Vigor. You see, you say vigor the way I say vigor. Now, instead of saying vigor, why don't you say vigor? Vigor. Good, Bobby. See, the trick is to take the edge off the voice. The change should be significant. For instance, try this famous sentence of mine. Let me say this about that. Do not ask what your country can do for you. Ask rather what you can do for your country. Why, let me make a judgment on that. Judy, do not ask what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Yes, that's very good, Bobby. Perfect. Now you've got a brand new voice. Okay, Teddy, you try it. All right, you guys. Let me make a judgment on that. Do not ask what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Now no one's going to say you're copying, Teddy. Great, just perfect. Yeah, let me make a judgment on that. Do not ask what your country can do for you. Ask rather what you can do for your country. Cut it out, Jackie. Jackie, where's baby John? I want to talk to him.
Jack, I wish you'd stop calling him baby John. After all, he's 35 years old now.
35. Yes, it is 1996, isn't it? Here we are, retired in a little Palm Beach cottage in Hyannisport. 1996. How long ago was it that I was president?
4 years.
Well, it's been a good, rich life for all of us, don't you think, dear?
Yes, dear.
I certainly enjoyed being president. Bobby enjoyed being president. Teddy enjoyed being president. Then I enjoyed being president again.
Whatever happened to that funny little chubby man? You know, the Russian you had so much trouble with?
Oh, you mean Nicky? Well, he's fine. I hear from him all the time since he defected to West Germany over the Berlin Wall. Oh, by the way, you haven't forgotten we're having a family reunion next Thursday.
Oh, yes. Where are we all getting together?
Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden?
Well, it's only for the immediate family.
That'll be nice.
Well, I guess the high point of our life is really tomorrow, isn't it?
Yes, I'm so excited.
Just think, Caroline's coronation.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's political world is complex, confusing, and bewildering. In an effort to give you a better understanding of the issues and the answers, we looked for the truth, and we found it. What you are about to hear is an actual recording made by Vaughn Meader at the Alexander Robertson School on 95th Street in Central Park West in New York City. The experts are members of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grades.
Do you know who I am?
Yes.
Who am I?
You're not the president, but you're the imitator.
Who's the president?
President Kennedy.
What does President Kennedy do?
Write letters. Inspects Cuba. Talks to Khrushchev.
What do you think the president does? Go ahead.
Sign papers and all that junk.
President's a politician.
I don't believe it.
Why, what would you do if you were president?
I'd sit in bed all day.
What would you do if you were president?
I'd send people to jail.
Think it'd be good to be president?
I think it would, but I'd say something.
I don't, because everybody crowds around you.
Yeah, and
it gets tiring.
Yeah, everybody crowds around you, and you have to always talk, and you feel like fainting.
Are you a Democrat or a Republican, Jasmine?
A Democrat?
Why do you think you're a Democrat and not a Republican?
Because I belong to the United States.
Are you a Democrat or a Republican, Mitch?
I make things fly.
Are you a Democrat or a Republican?
Democrat.
You're a Democrat? What's the difference?
I don't know that.
What's the difference between a Democrat and a Republican?
President Kennedy was a Democrat, and I didn't remember.
What's the difference between a Democrat and a Republican?
One's fat, one's thin.
You're all three Democrats. Why is that better than being a Republican?
Because I'm one.
Does your daddy pay taxes?
Yeah, my family's a taxpayer, but my kitten isn't.
Who do you suppose is the greatest man in the world?
The president.
Who do you think?
My father.
And who do you think?
Jesus.
All of you know Governor Rockefeller. What do you think a governor does all day?
Collects income tax.
How many hours do you suppose a governor works in one day?
12.
How many hours does the president work?
24.
How many do you think Mayor Wagner works a day?
6.
Who knows who Mr. Nixon is? Go ahead.
Former president.
How many hours do you think Nixon works?
He doesn't.
Why doesn't Nixon work?
He's sad because he didn't become the president.
How much money would you like to make in a week?
Well, about $110.
How much money would you like to make a week?
I'd like to make $1,000 billion, $100 trillion in a minute.
Who do you think makes that much money?
Rockefeller.
What is a communist?
Somebody who's not free.
Do you like Nikita Khrushchev?
Yeah.
You know who Fidel Castro is?
The premier from Cuba.
Mm-hmm. Do you like him?
I've never seen him.
Do you know who Mr. Castro is?
He's the leader of Cuba.
What does he look like?
He's bald-headed.
You know who Fidel Castro is?
A Martian.
He's terrible.
He's a bad boy.
How many other presidents can you name?
George Washington.
That's right.
Washington, Lincoln, Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy.
Yeah.
Who do you think was the best one?
President. I mean, Kennedy. Kennedy.